Chosen one, this message has reached you right on time. Not by accident, but by alignment. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. You didn't find this message. It found you because your soul is ready. Ready to stop chasing. Ready to start attracting. Ready to remember that your power was never in pretending, but in being real. There's something rare within you, something magnetic, and the world is about to feel it. There comes a time in every chosen one's journey when you stop running. Not because you're tired, but because you realize something powerful. You're not meant to chase. You're meant to attract. The world has taught us to run after approval, attention, success, love. But the truth is, chasing only keeps it further away. The more you reach, the more it slips. But the moment you become real, raw, grounded, aligned, you stop seeking, and things start finding you. That's not magic. That's authenticity. And authenticity is the highest frequency. This is the power of being real. Not perfect, not polished, just real. Let's break this down into 7 chapters to understand how your authenticity is your magnetism. Before we dive deep, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because this message isn't just content. It's a divine confirmation meant for the chosen ones. If your spirit feels this frequency, type 77 in the comments right now. That number isn't random. It's a sacred code, a signal to the Most High and the universe that you're aligned, awake, and ready to receive what's already yours by divine right. Not everyone will make it to the end, only the truly chosen, and those who stay will gain clarity, activate deeper awareness, and unlock the hidden blessings encoded in every word of this message. This isn't something you listen to once. It's a living truth that unfolds layer by layer. Re-watch it as many times as your soul calls for, because with each listen, you'll catch a new revelation, a divine key you may have overlooked the first time. Chapter 1. The exhaustion of chasing. From the very beginning, we're conditioned to believe that our value lies in what we can do, how we can perform, who we can impress. As children, we learn quickly: be louder to be noticed, be better to be praised, be agreeable to be accepted. And so, without even realizing it, we become seekers, chasing approval, chasing attention, chasing love, chasing success. Not from a place of wholeness, but from a deep, unconscious belief that we are not enough as we are. But chasing is exhausting. It's a never-ending race with no finish line. You chase one thing, and by the time you get close, it's already moved. You grasp at relationships, trying to be what someone else wants. You throw yourself into jobs, friendships, image building, all while quietly abandoning your true self. Every smile that isn't real, every yes you say when your soul wants to scream no, every moment you twist and shrink and shapeshift to gain approval, it all costs you. It drains your spirit, dulls your light, and disconnects you from your power. The energy of chasing is rooted in lack. It's a signal to the universe that you believe what you want is outside of you, out of reach, out of your league, out of your hands. It screams, "I need this to feel whole." But here's the truth. That kind of energy repels instead of attracts. People can feel it, the desperation behind the smile, the emptiness behind the effort. Even when you're trying your hardest to be what others want, they sense the inner disconnect. And when they sense it, they pull away. As a chosen one, you've been through this cycle more than once. You've been the one giving too much, compromising too often, staying too long, all for the hope that something or someone would finally see your worth. And maybe you've started to notice a pattern. No matter how much you give, it's never enough. No matter how hard you chase, the reward doesn't come. Not because you're unworthy, but because chasing is not your path. Your spirit was not made to pursue validation. It was made to embody truth. You weren't built to beg for crumbs. You were born to walk in wholeness. Eventually, the weight of pretending becomes heavier than the fear of being real. You begin to ask deeper questions. Why am I always the one running? Why do I keep proving myself to people who don't even know how to value me? Why do I feel more empty the more I try to gain? These questions mark the beginning of your awakening, because once you're tired enough, something within you shifts. You stop asking what you need to do to be worthy, and you start remembering that your worth was never in question. You realize that the things you were chasing, love, peace, belonging, were never meant to be pursued. They were meant to be attracted, and attraction starts with alignment, with authenticity, it's broken the illusion. You're no longer willing to sacrifice your truth for temporary attention. You're no longer chasing. You're coming home to yourself. You're remembering that you don't need to run after what already recognizes your light, and that is where the true magnetism begins. Chapter 2. Authenticity is your frequency. There's something powerful that happens when you finally stop trying to be everything for everyone, when you stop filtering your truth just to fit into rooms that don't even honor your presence. That power is called authenticity. And for the chosen one, it's not just a personality trait, it's your frequency. In a world flooded with noise, trends, and masks, being real is rare. And in its rarity, it becomes radiant. When you stand in your truth, unpolished, unfiltered, and unapologetic, you emit a signal that cannot be ignored. That signal says, I know who I am. I know what I carry. I'm not chasing, I'm aligning. Authenticity isn't about being loud or bold. It's not about spilling every thought or always speaking your mind. It's about being deeply honest with yourself first, then allowing the outer world to reflect that inner truth. It's waking up and deciding that your peace matters more than people-pleasing. It's being willing to lose things that were only attracted to your mask, not your soul. People may not always like the real you. Some may feel threatened by your clarity. Others may distance themselves because your truth exposes their denial. But here's the beauty of it. Authenticity does the filtering for you. You no longer need to explain who you are to those who aren't meant to understand. Your energy becomes a natural boundary, and in that sacred space, the right things begin to flow. The right people begin to appear. The right timing begins to unfold. You're no longer hustling to create connection. You're allowing connection to respond to your realness. As a chosen one, you may have spent years wearing different versions of yourself. One for your family, one for your friends, one for the world. You adapted, not out of deceit, but out of survival. But now the season has come where only the real you will rise, because the life you truly desire, the peace, the purpose, the prosperity, is only accessible through authenticity. Anything built on false identity will eventually collapse. But what's built on truth will always endure. Authenticity is not perfection. It doesn't mean you never doubt or stumble. It means you stop pretending when you do. It means you bring your shadows into the light instead of hiding them. And paradoxically, it's that honesty, not your image, that attracts respect, loyalty, and love. People are not inspired by perfection. They're drawn to realness, the kind that gives them permission to be real too. When you are real, you resonate, and resonance is what creates magnetism, not effort, not striving, just alignment. So breathe. Come back to yourself. Your realness is more than enough. You don't have to perform. You don't have to prove. Just be. Because that's where your true power lives. And when you live from that place, the universe moves, things shift, doors open, not because you forced it, but because you finally stood still in your truth. And in that stillness, everything meant for you hears your frequency and starts moving in your direction. Chapter 3. Stop performing for acceptance. Chosen ones often grow up in environments that don't know how to receive them. You were too deep for surface conversations, too sensitive in a world that rewards numbness, too intuitive for systems that train people to ignore their gut. And when you're constantly misunderstood, you adapt, not to thrive, but to survive. So you learn the art of performance. You learn how to smile even when you're shattering inside, how to say the right things to keep the peace, how to downplay your gifts so others don't feel threatened, how to mold yourself into whatever shape will get you acceptance, praise, or even just silence instead of criticism. Over time, the performance becomes automatic. You stop noticing where the act ends and where you begin. But here's the painful truth. Every time you perform, you abandon yourself just a little more. You disconnect from your voice, your truth, your core, just to be chosen by people who were never even equipped to see you. You wear masks not because you want to lie, but because the world convinced you the real you was too much, too intense, too different. So you shrink, smile, nod, agree, and die slowly inside. This is not attraction. This is manipulation. And what does that create? Relationships where you're always performing, always editing, always afraid of being fully seen. Because deep down, you know, if they saw the real me, they might leave. But here's the breakthrough. If someone only stays because of the mask you wear, then they were never truly with you to begin with. They were with the performance. And that's a lonely place to be. When you stop performing, you will lose people. Let them go. You will disappoint people. Let them be disappointed. You will feel fear. Let it come and let it pass. Because the people who fall away were only drawn to the character you created, not the soul you are. But the ones who stay, or the ones who arrive, are the ones who are truly for you. They will resonate not with your performance, but with your presence. Not with your image, but with your essence. And those are the relationships worth building, the ones where you don't have to rehearse your emotions, where your silence is understood, where your truth doesn't scare people away, it draws them closer, where being raw is safe and being real is celebrated. As a chosen one, your power is not in your ability to fit in. It's in your courage to stand out, to be real, to be raw, to be whole, even if it means being alone for a while. Because real love, real recognition, and real opportunities only find you when you stop hiding and start living in your truth. So take the mask off. Speak your truth. Let your presence be your offering. You don't need to perform to be worthy. You don't need to be perfect to be loved. The right ones, the aligned ones, will never require you to dim your light just to stay close. Your truth is magnetic. Let it speak for you. Chapter 4. Stillness is a power move. Chasing is loud. It's frantic. It's messy. It's energy scattered in 1,000 directions, hoping to catch something. Anything. But stillness is power. The chosen one understands that stillness is not a sign of weakness or inaction. Stillness is a state of readiness. It is the space where you pause long enough to listen to the whispers of your soul, to feel the pulse of divine timing, to recognize that everything you need is already within you, waiting to align with you. Stillness is the opposite of desperation. It is the conscious choice to stop running and start trusting. You stop begging for things that aren't meant for you. You stop scrambling for attention. You stop forcing connections that feel off. Because the truth is, you don't need to chase what is already yours. What's meant for you will find you when you stand still enough to receive it. And so you prepare, you align, you elevate, but you do so from a place of fullness, not lack. The energy you bring into the world isn't frantic or empty. It is calm, grounded and clear. You know your worth, you know your mission, and when you know these things, There's no need to chase anything. Your energy becomes magnetic. In that stillness, you tap into your most powerful tool, your peace. Your peace becomes louder than your panic. Your calm becomes stronger than your urgency. Where others are scrambling and hustling, you are centered. And this shift, this profound inner peace, is the very thing that draws opportunities and people to you. It's not because you're striving, it's because you've stopped trying and started being. When you're grounded in stillness, people notice. Not because you're trying to get noticed, but because your presence is undeniable. You're no longer chasing. You are the signal. You are the calm in the storm, the solid foundation amidst chaos. People start asking, who is that? They're drawn to your energy, your clarity, and your authenticity. Not because you've run after them, but because you stand firm in your own space. Stillness is not inactivity. It's not about doing nothing. It's about doing things from a place of alignment instead of need. It's about moving with intention, knowing that every step is in harmony with your purpose. When you're still, you're not waiting for things to happen to you. You're preparing for what's already on its way. Stillness is a practice of deep confidence. It's the quiet knowledge that you are already complete. You don't need to scream for attention, and you don't need to convince anyone of your worth. Your stillness speaks louder than any hustle could ever hope to. It's a quiet confidence that doesn't need to prove anything. It is when you allow yourself to be still, you are telling the universe, I trust you. You're trusting that everything that is meant for you will come in divine timing, without force. You don't rush, you don't chase, you prepare, you align, and you wait. No, not everyone is meant to walk your path. Not every admirer is meant to stay. And not every opportunity, no matter how glittering it looks, is meant for you. When you stop chasing, something powerful happens. You start filtering. You begin to see through the noise. You stop mistaking attention for affirmation. You stop giving access to everyone just because they showed up. Your discernment sharpens. Your spirit becomes selective. And that's not ego. It's clarity. It's a sign that you've grown beyond the need for surface-level connection and into the maturity of conscious alignment. You learn that just because someone wants you doesn't mean they're aligned with you. Just because a door opens doesn't mean it leads where you're destined to go. You stop living on autopilot, saying yes out of habit, fear, or the need to be liked. Instead, you start asking deeper questions. Does this person nourish me? Does this opportunity honor my values? Does this environment feel safe for my soul? Because real alignment isn't about what looks good on the outside. It's about what feels true on the inside. It's about finding resonance, the kind that can't be forced, only felt. Being real means having standards, not superficial checklists, but soul-deep standards based on how you want to feel, grow, and be loved. You no longer settle just to say you have something. You're no longer interested in being chosen if you have to shrink to fit. You're no longer impressed by quantity. You want quality. You're no longer entertained by crowds. You crave connection. This is where your energy shifts. You stop asking, do they like me? And you start asking, do they align with me? That question changes everything. Because suddenly it's not about being liked. It's about being respected. It's not about being wanted. It's about being understood. It's not about fitting in. It's about feeling seen. You're not chasing validation anymore. You're curating alignment. And yes, this shift may cost you numbers. You may have fewer people around you, fewer invites, fewer constant pings of attention. But what you gain in return is peace. What you gain is depth. What you gain is the clarity to walk through life surrounded not by fans, but by soul matches, people who get you without you having to explain. Situations that support your growth, not drain your spirit. Environments that mirror your truth instead of stifling it. And slowly, you begin to see that alignment is not just about who you attract. It's about who you become. Because when you refuse to settle, when you refuse to bend for the wrong fit, you begin to embody the highest version of yourself. That's when life begins to mirror your frequency. Chosen one, your path is not wide, it's precise. Your calling is not for everyone, it's for the aligned. And as you become more real, more whole, more rooted in who you are, your field narrows on purpose. That's not rejection, that's refinement. So don't fear losing the wrong ones. Don't mourn the closed doors that were never built for your soul to walk through. Let the filters work. Let your energy speak. Let your standards protect you. You don't need the world to clap for you. You need a few who see you clearly, walk with you honestly, and rise with you intentionally. Alignment over attention, every time. Chapter 6. The right things are drawn to the real you. Here's the truth. The things meant for you are searching for the real you, not the version of you that's been edited, filtered, or contorted to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. Not the version that you present when you're trying to impress or gain approval. The real you, the raw, unpolished, honest, and ever-evolving you. So many of us spend our lives trying to fit into boxes we were never meant to be in, hoping that if we mold ourselves enough, we'll finally attract what we desire. But here's the catch. Every time you hide your truth, you push away what's actually meant to stay. Every time you shrink to make someone or something else comfortable, you block the energy that's in alignment with your truest self. The universe is always in search of the real you, the one who's not afraid to be messy, the one who's not afraid to show up imperfectly, the one who's not afraid to be you. And when you embrace this version of yourself, the world around you begins to shift. You stop chasing after things that may never fit and start calling in everything that was always meant for you. The job that recognizes your unique skill set, the friendship that nurtures and challenges you in the best way, the relationship that values your authenticity above all else, the platform that amplifies your voice, not because you're perfect, but because you are real. You see, you're giving the world the gift of your truth. And when you give, you inevitably receive what is meant for you. You stop chasing because you've stopped needing validation. You've stopped pretending to be something else, because you understand that the right things are drawn to the energy of authenticity. It's not about playing a role or contorting yourself to fit someone else's vision of success. It's about becoming the version of yourself that resonates with the universe. When you stand in your truth, when you let your flaws show, when you speak from your soul instead of your ego, you attract what is real and aligned with you. The job, the opportunities, the relationships, the success. They find you in your realness. They find you because your energy is no longer focused on chasing, impressing, or performing. You're simply being. And when you become the embodiment of your truest self, the universe begins to match your frequency, drawing the right people, opportunities, and blessings to you. You might be surprised at what starts showing up in your life when you stop trying so hard. When you let go of the fear of rejection and simply step into your truth, people who are aligned with your energy will begin to appear, and it won't feel forced. It won't feel like a struggle. You'll find that the world begins to open up to you as if everything is finally in the right place. When you stop chasing, you start becoming. And what you become, the real you, the whole you, is what you attract. Because the truth is, what is meant for you will never pass you by, but it will only find you when you are being your most authentic self. No filters, no edits, just you as you are. Chapter 7. You are the magnet. For so long, you've spent your energy chasing things outside of you, the approval, the validation, the opportunities. You've run after people, dreams, and success, believing that these things were the key to your fulfillment. But here's the revelation. The secret was never outside of you. It was always inside. You are the magnet. The moment you decide to stand fully in your truth, everything changes. Your energy shifts. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, and live differently. The chase is over because you no longer need to run after anything. You don't need to beg for tables to sit at. You're building your own. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You are simply accepting yourself as you are, with all your strengths and flaws. And when you stop chasing, the world around you starts to respond. The chosen one doesn't chase. The chosen one becomes. And in the process of becoming, something extraordinary happens. You start attracting everything that resonates with your energy. It's not by force. It's not by pretending to be something you're not. It's by living in your full authenticity, your deepest truth. You attract not because you are chasing, but because you are grounded in your essence. When you stop running, you begin to draw what's meant for you: relationships, opportunities, success. You don't have to fight for what's already in alignment with you. The law of attraction isn't just about positive thinking. It's about becoming magnetic because of the energy you put out into the world. You begin to realize that your worth was never tied to anything external. It was always inherent within you, waiting to be unleashed. The more you step into that space of self-acceptance and trust in your unique journey, the more aligned things will become. And that's where your power lies, in becoming who you truly are, unapologetically and without compromise. The moment you step into your power, you realize you don't need to chase anything anymore. What's meant for you will find you, because you are the magnet. And as you continue to grow and evolve, more and more of the right people, opportunities and experiences will be drawn to you. In that stillness, in that authenticity, you become unstoppable. Not because you're pushing or forcing, but because your energy is aligned with your truth. And that right there is the magic. Your magnetic presence is the most powerful tool you have. It is the divine essence that you carry, and it cannot be ignored.